This is what I experienced when I was 25 years old. I went to Jin's house along with Alexa, my best friend at the time, and her boyfriend. Gavin, a guy I had just met, was there too. After we had some drinks and hung out together, Alexa and her boyfriend went into a separate room to have some romantic time. That's when Gavin stared at me and said, "Shall we start our love?" However, I declined, as I wasn't ready to develop a deeper relationship with him. Suddenly he said, "How about a game of hide and seek?" At first I was confused, but I decided to play along to break the awkwardness. I entered a room and heard his voice from a distance. "You've got 20 minutes. If I find you, you'll be mine." I giggled as I hid under the bed. After a while, I started hearing something breaking outside. I became suspicious, thinking Gavin might be up to something, but I decided to wait. Then I heard his voice from the hallway. "You need to hide better, otherwise it won't be fun." Shortly after, I heard more things shattering, and the sound was getting closer. Although it was just a game, for some reason I began to feel anxious. Just as I was about to leave, there was a sudden bang on the door. I almost screamed, but covered my mouth with my hands. Gavin opened the door, breathing heavily, carrying a massive hammer. I started shaking. Was he serious? A flood of thoughts rushed through my mind. Then, Gavin swung the hammer with all his strength, smashing a wardrobe. The door burst open with a loud bang, and he said, "Ah, she's not here. Too bad if she had been hit." I was horrified. This wasn't a joke. He was truly insane. Gavin lifted the hammer again, slowly walking around. I stayed under the bed, watching him move, my breath shallow. After a while, he stood right next to the bed. I nearly stopped breathing. He suddenly took a deep breath and whispered, "I can hear your heartbeat from here." Then, without warning, he yanked the mattress off the bed and threw it aside. Gavin swung the hammer down, and it smashed into the wooden bed frame, shattering right next to my head. He screamed in frustration and stared directly at me through the gap. "I missed," he muttered. Terrified, I scrambled out, screaming, and ran from the room with him, chasing me, hammer in hand. I bolted down the hallway and stumbled down the stairs. He was right behind me. Suddenly, the timer went off. Gavin froze, looked at his watch, and said, "Time's up." He stood still, looking confused, and said, "Shall we play another round? There are so many places to hide in this house." I was shaking all over and said, "I'm sorry, but I have to leave." He tried to stop me, begging, "Just one more game." I hurried to my car, started the engine, and heard his voice from behind, "Please, just one more game. I really want to have you." I immediately drove away and called the police. When the police arrived at his house, they made a horrifying discovery. Alexa and her boyfriend were found dead, their bodies twisted together. It turns out Gavin had done it. He wasn't found inside the house when the police searched, but he was later discovered hiding in a closet. Gavin lunged at one of the officers with the hammer, injuring several police officers before being shot dead on the spot. Call to action: if you're still with me in this story, please follow, share, and like LDT Group. The channel is struggling, and just one small coffee through PP at LDT Group can help keep it going. Every little contribution makes a difference.